Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is the Webtalk Legends Podcast. I am your host. This is number 28 on the year. If you're interested in sharing your story, please reach out to me. We'd love to have you. These are for those that are in Webtalk. Those are entrepreneurs. Those are small business owners that want to share their story and help others. And that's the goal. Helping others, people first, profit second. And putting some time into it. It's for 30 minutes, guys. So if you haven't already, after this live, please share it. Please subscribe to this channel. And if you're not engaging some of the posts that we're doing on Web Talk, definitely check out Learn with Legends. Got to go check out webtalklegends.com. It's a platform that we're helping others. And that's why we're all doing this. So let me stop talking and let's get into this conversation with my good friend, Chris Whalen. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, good evening, Shawn. Everything's fantastic. Summertime.
It's a little bit cooler than it was the last couple weeks now. It's been ridiculous in New Jersey.
Yes, it's much cooler and having a good summer. Finally decompressing from tax season a little bit. It usually takes me from April 15th to about May 31st to feel like, okay, I could have a normal busy schedule than a tax season schedule, right?
No, for sure. And for those that don't know, and you could see Chris Whalen and CPA next to him, can you give us an introduction of when you go out and meet people? How do you introduce yourself? It's not just I'm an accountant. What are you going to? I love hearing it from someone's lips. Go ahead.
From a networking perspective, the lesson would be I'm always asking people what they do and what kind of clients they're looking for and how can I help facilitate them getting business. So that's always the main thrust. But I'm a CPA with a full-service, small to medium-sized firm here in New Jersey. We service businesses and families, high net worth individuals. We really are sort of a CFO outsourced kind of feeling to us, very concierge. You have to go look at my reviews maybe online, but we specialize in individual tax and business matters from an accounting perspective. We do forensic accounting for divorces. We do expert testimony for cases coming in, either criminal cases or civil cases. And so anything that relates to tax and accounting, if you have any question about it, the moment you have that question, you should be calling me. That's what I always say.
Got to have somebody, a professional in your corner to have those questions for the answers to the questions you might have. So I definitely appreciate you spending some time with us. And if you haven't already, guys, where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. And also, hey, what kind of business are you involved in? Let's use this as a networking opportunity for everyone. Put your website down in the comments. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. And let's get after it, Chris. We've known each other for a number of years, but I want to go deeper. Besides business, how were you when you were younger? What was your likes, your dislikes? Let's go down that path.
I think since I was very young, I have when I was 10 years old, something happened that I knew I was an entrepreneur. So the quick story is my father came home from work. He worked at a big corporation, big madmen kind of attitude and skyscrapers in Manhattan. And he put his paycheck down on the table and he said, I said, oh, what's this? And I didn't know where money came from or anything. So he explained his pay and taxes and, oh, here's my net money that we have to pay for things we buy. So we had 6 kids, being a good Irish, Italian, Roman Catholic family in Queens, New York. So of course I had my first entrepreneurial worry. I said, well, how many of those you get a week? What if they don't give it to you? How are we going to eat? So that was my first foray. And I've never stopped thinking about, doing entrepreneurial things, never wanting to work for one person. That was the first moment I said, I need to have more than one paycheck. Let's get 2 or 100. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of an entrepreneurial base. Anyone out there younger who's having this feeling like an alien, like, why do I feel, not like everybody else? I'm just towing the line. Well, you might be an entrepreneur and you might be the 1/10 of 1% like me, who I love being on my own. I love not having security. I love not, because there's no better security than having more than one person paying you on a regular basis. Right. That's the entrepreneurial lesson. No matter what I go through, I could lose half my business and I'm okay. So I don't have any coffee, or cooler politics to worry about. I run everything, so I can hire who I like. I can fire clients I don't necessarily get along with or fit with. So there are some negatives. People get nervous about going on their own, but the benefits are astronomical once you're in it. So, and I've known that since I'm young, and I think I had my last W-2 was 1992.
I like what you've just brought up and what you're saying. Entrepreneurship is people wake up every single day without a paycheck. There's no guarantee. So, how do you keep your mindset? You have that negativity. Right now, you've been in the business for over 30 years, right? So, you have consistency over the times now. But in the beginning, when you first started, how did you like wake up every day and not be all scared and have that fear in that mindset?
It's just if it's not natural, it's very hard to overcome that fear of not having a paycheck on Friday. So it's a matter of confidence, and some people can start something while they're still working for someone. That happens all the time. Believe me, no better way to get your feet wet doing a side gig that becomes a full-time gig. So don't always abandon your job. And remember, don't always invest in something. This is a big mistake I see. People want to take their 401k money, invest in a franchise. And I said, okay, you want to invest in a pizza franchise, but why don't you work at a pizzeria for free, get paid? So it's a matter of if you plan things, which we do all the time. I'm doing planning with people constantly, 4 or 8 right now, people who are at a big corporation. They're tired of all the wokeness that's there. And these are people of all colors there's a brain drain going on even more than ever from big corporations of all people of all colors and religions and backgrounds that are calling me to say, how do I transition out of this to take my skills to work on my own and get rid of all of this woke baggage? Because that's what's happening. Everyone is so concerned about misspeaking, and I can't ask out Jane to lunch because, I'm going to be harassing her, maybe if a more handsome guy asked her out, it might not be harassment, but that's a different story. So I think you just have to take your time and have a consultation with someone like me. So if you're thinking about I've never had more meetings with people with these initial questions. How does it work? How do I transition? What kind of entity do I set up? How does payroll work? These kind of ideas. Chris, your marketing is pretty good. How do I learn how to do that? So that's the most important thing, is be measured about it. But if you have a good background and some function or skill that people need, like me, I do taxes. It's just like my work is a trade. I consider me I cut grass, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of looking into it. You don't need a lot of confidence to investigate, to talk to people like me. It's like Shawn, he'd be the person I'd send you to if you have insurance questions. He knows that. So especially younger people, seek out professionals in your community. I get calls all the time from high school students that say, I'm thinking of going into accounting as opposed to finance. Can I talk to you for a few minutes? So I urge everyone older who wants to start a business or younger, call professionals. They love to get a call from a young person that says, hey, Shawn, what is it like being an insurance person? What is that world like? The people ask me. People don't know what a CPA in my world does. They're especially accounting students in college. They're taught the corporate line or the big 8 firm, big 4 firm accounting. And they're not taught about entrepreneurship and being a street level CPA like me, which I love to. I could have gone big and done SEC work and FINRA work, but I don't want to deal with board members. I want to deal with owners. I like big companies, but it has to be a mom and pop in front of me. So if you're a people person, I know I do accounting, but it's for me, it's not medicine, I know, but it's so gratifying that I am team approach with families and people all day, and I'm helping them get to better places, helping them with serious issues, giving them heavy advice that's going to impact them. And to team approach, I have over 1,000 clients, so that's one thing I want to impart about being a CPA and having your own firm. It's not just about numbers. It's not boring. It's not stacks of tax returns with computer paper and calculator paper. It's all about helping each individual you're in front of. And it's so gratifying. I can't even express how gratifying it is personally for the work I do and the people I help.
Yeah. I mean, Chris not an order taker. You're sitting there to educate. You're listening how you can help them. I know you have written a couple books, right?
Yes, I have. Well, the main business book I've written is called Be the Chocolate Milk, available on Amazon. and it's called, and the subtitle is Successful Selling for Homogenized Professionals. So it's for a lot of us like me. There's nothing more that's a commodity in services than doing taxes. People think of it. So imagine in the dairy case of tax preparers, there are gallons of white whole milk as far as the eye can see with red caps on it. But if you look really close, there's a little quart of chocolate milk. And that's me. And once you know it exists, you're going to pay a little more for it, but you never go back to the regular milk. So it's really, the idea is it's over 100 topics in different areas of business where I've tried to differentiate myself. I don't want it to be, I'm getting my taxes done. No, you want it to be, I want Chris Whalen to do my taxes. So like I want Shawn Ziem to do my insurance planning. So that's the book, Be the Chocolate Milk. It's on Amazon. It does well. And I get a lot of good feedback from around the world on it. But it's really, anyone in business or in sales, it can give you a lot of good ideas from tech to administration to psychology. What do I do? I think I'm doing okay. All the reviews are good. Things are going well. So what have I tried to do in the past 35 years to get to where I am? And I feel pretty comfortable where I am right now.
No, that's awesome. And those that are watching, we have a ton of you on. We appreciate. We have people from all over New Zealand, Australia, Florida, New York. Guys, keep it going. If you use an accountant, drop it in the comments. If you do your own taxes yourself, drop it in the comments. Let's see what you guys are doing on your own in this front as well. So besides doing taxes, having your book, you are a grandfather. How has that changed you?
Well, I do have a fathering book too called Foxhole Father, the Field Guide for Fathers. And so people have asked me, oh, now you're a grandpa for over 3 years. Do you want to read a book? But I found it's very simple. Being a grandpa has one page with one piece of advice. I just practice saying, sure, whatever you want. That's it. Grandpa lesson over. So anything serious, talk to your mother, my daughter right now, or my son-in-law. Oh, but it's just really, really, great having the grandkids now. We went on a trip to Ocean City, Maryland together for a week and had all my daughters together. It's very, to see my kids growing up. My kids are in their late 20s, early 30s now. And I don't know, I'm just very relaxed about everything, and it makes everything even better. I have an entrepreneurial story about this. When my youngest daughter graduated college in 2016, I was coming home from the graduation. I realized, my youngest daughter now has a job out of college. She had a job waiting for her. So I realized that's where you want to get to as a parent. All your kids out of college, gainfully employed. Okay, so now I was suddenly there. I had no plan. I had no plan for me. I was just, I'm done with my goal that I've had for 30 years. And so and of course, college is expensive. So as clients started to, you want to make clients happy or prospective clients. But I started saying, listen, I no longer have college tuition to pay. So that means if I make $50,000 a year less, I'm still in the same place that I was. So if you want to be part of that reduction, just keep talking. And the lesson is, you don't have to take things from people. You don't have to be treated like an underling. I partner with my clients, and things like that. So the lesson is, sometimes people can be overbearing and disrespect you, and you should cut that off right away. You know what I'm saying?
No, I appreciate that. How has social media been with your business? Do you like it?
I really like it. It's a really good question. And because social media, people use it for marketing themselves, of course, why we ask about it. And so I have a lesser is more approach, which is it goes against the grain. Like if you look, I just posted a podcast about the IRS agents being hired, right?
Yep.
And a memo and a podcast. And I hadn't posted something in a month. And every SEO person will tell you, this is crazy, but it's real content. And so my advice about social media is that never, ever share anybody else's information if you can help it. Even if it's small, we want original information. I want to know that you're an expert from a blurb in social media. And less is much more. Like, for example, if you do something like Shawn, I would want to see a little case study, or if you're a lawyer, people respond to stories. I don't need to see a menu. Like I tell you this example about social media. Let's say you meet me at a party and I say I'm a brain surgeon. and I specialize in frontal lobe. So think the social media should be, I'm Dr. Chris, and I saved patient XYZ with this procedure. That makes sense. Oh, this is fantastic. Look, he's saving lives. I don't talk about the gurney that we use, the blue booty shoes, the scalpel. So people are all too often like, Shawn, I never have to know specifically even what product Shawn's selling me. I just know he's the insurance expert. So social media for business should be short and sweet, big font. Remember, people are looking on their phone. Remember, when you're posting social media, especially, or podcast or memos, anything written, you want to make sure that you're doing it for the phone. See, let's see if that comes up. See how big that is? So you want to go from your mobile device to your web page to make sure that, because 90% of people are opening everything for me here first on the phone, and people don't realize people can't see it. So I love social media. I think it's overused and oversaturated because it's too much from people. And remember, when you do a post, if you look at my post, I have a very specific, IRS hires 82,000 agents. You're never going to see, this is Chris's monthly newsletter, because that disrespects people. Should I open it? So sometimes I get 10% opens, sometimes 90% opens. That's fine. But people feel respected that they just delete it if they don't want it. That's why I'm very specific about what the memo's about. So I do a lot of consulting for that, because people do like how I do things, but they're afraid to not post a lot. I'm like, quality, original information, never reposting someone else's info. Well, Google loves it. And I also have a Google My Business page. And little advice.
There you go.
Remember, Google My Business is competition for LinkedIn and things like that. So you want to have a good Google My Business. And I post there first. Everything I post there because it shows them respect and it increases your rankings. So that's important. So social media, people don't know Google My Business. You can post there. Everything I post there amongst 100 other places. So less is more. Show that you're an expert. I don't need flashy things. I don't need videos. I don't need websites where there's panels going up and down. All these websites with skyscrapers in Toledo, and you scroll down, and then just have once. Just easier is better, especially because we're looking at this. So
it's like track, right? People
are going to go on about that, but I see a lot of mistakes made with websites and posts. I go right to my phone to see, can I easily see and understand what I'm looking at on one screen? Right?
100%. It's important that you are consistent. You have a value that you're giving. Maybe you're teaching, but a lot of people say, I have no time. Chris, you're a professional. But you still do you do most of yours by yourself, or do you have somebody else, a third party?
Yeah, well, I know I definitely do most of the writing. I have people doing some research, but remember, if you're doing it correctly and you're an expert, your daily work is going to feed your posts.
Content. Yep.
I don't have to research. Like, I know this IRS agent podcast had a little research in it, but still does a lot of buzz about it. But most of my posts come from simply taking the work we just did and said, oh, if Shawn needed estate planning questions answered right now, maybe some other people do. So it's timely also. So you have all the data. If you sell toner cartridges, even, doesn't matter, that you're doing current work. Oh, we went into a landscaper and they have these printers. Don't think that what you do is uninteresting. Toner cartridges are very important, for example. So just practice doing case study 285, make up a number. Client was a whatever you do, contractor, and let's say you do insurance or whatever you might do. People want to see a human interest story. A contractor presented to me with insurance of such and such, and my solution was to give him this and not even name the product. We don't even have to name them. That doesn't matter. It's that someone presented Shawn with a situation, and Shawn was able to give him a better solution, with his products that are available and his acumen. I love those. And that's all you need. I don't need a page. I don't need 3 paragraphs.
You want to have engagement. That's the goal of having a post. You don't want to just get a couple of likes. You want people to comment. You want them to share it so they're getting value, giving value to others. It's not just all, and they have to keep that mindset. I always say either post in 5 or 4. One all about you, whatever your business is, and all the other ones are with others. You're helping others. So
Right.
it's a motivational thing, an inspiration thing. It's not just sales, post, promote. We don't want to do that. Now, let's change our conversation and go into what do you do as far as for fun outside of work? Chris Whalen's all about the podcast, CPA, being a grandfather. But besides a grandma, I know that's a fun time. What is something else you're gonna
People
see?
don't realize I'm heavily into interpretive dancing. No, just kidding. Well, I love to write. I write a lot of fiction. I have a website for my writing. So I do write for fun since I'm younger. I love my mountain bike a lot. I like to do some kickboxing. I have in my garage. I have a good heavy bag, so I love to hit the bag a lot. I love the movies. I'm going to another concert Saturday. I just took my daughters to see Barry Manilow. That's Friday night.
I saw that. Yep.
So we're going to see the Goo Goo Dolls, on this Saturday. So I love anything to do with live music, even local. You'll always see me out somewhere. I think I'm very, very basic, always looking for the next Mrs. Whalen, always on the market. I don't get on the apps or anything. So I guess I wrote a story where I'm woken up on a Saturday morning and then someone's at my door and I wake up and I'm all bleary-eyed and there's a woman. She says she's from the agency. So the wife agency sent me a wife. So I said, oh, come on in. Great, welcome, So she gives me her card. And I don't know. I love being with my kids and my grandkids as often as I can. I'm always reading. I love historical nonfiction. So I'm reading. I just finished The British Are Coming. It's first in a trilogy about the Revolutionary War. It's fantastic. Anything to do with, like I said, current events. But I write fiction, but I love nonfiction. Although I do read Stephen King when he has a book coming out, because I've been a fan since I'm younger. So I'm a homebody. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm very boring, I think. But I have a very intense day. I could deal with 20 clients that we're working. It's very emotional. A lot of my work, people walk in the office like almost with a sick child. They're so scared. They're like, please, Chris, please resuscitate this. Help me. So I don't have a dog because I just want to come home and have peace. I need it for a little while, but everything's good. I'm a very, very lucky guy. You know me.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And going back to being an entrepreneur, you don't have a set schedule, even though you have a schedule at work, what have you, going to the office. But what is your morning routine like? I like to hear what an entrepreneur goes through when that alarm goes off, or do you get up without an alarm? And then what happens from that point?
I've never slept late, even when my circadian rhythm's always been that of like an old man, I think. So I'm usually up by 5:45. I try to go to the gym. I do weights one day and cardio one day. Because I know myself, I say, I'm going to go to work first and go work out later.
Yeah.
Never happened. So I do that. Or sometimes if it's nice in the morning now, I'll ride my mountain bike for cardio for an hour, go to Huber Woods up here. It's fantastic. And I like to get into the office earlier than everybody. I'm usually in the office by 7:45, let's say, where everyone comes in at 9. So I can get a lot of work done before the phone starts ringing and get people set up for the day. And Tuesdays, I purposely have no one working except for me, because that's even in the off season, just so I can have a day to myself to relax a little bit. Because having employees there, it's pressure.
That's
and
true.
Then they're going to be they're going to be calling me. So Tuesdays, people in my office in the off season will work Sunday instead of Tuesdays. A lot of them. So I like that, so I can go visit my grandkids in the afternoon. So I can have. It's nice having time on a weekday when people don't know you're off, because no one calls you on a Tuesday to help you move a couch up the stairs, right? I don't know, and awesome. I'm lucky. I don't know. I meditate twice a day, which I've done for 25 years, which I think is the most important thing. A lot of us, we start the day at like 110%, and it's a bad way. So I meditate. So I like to start the day at a -50. That's my goal. Like now I've already meditated tonight before we did this. And I try to tell, especially the people that have the most trouble learning to meditate are the ones that need it the most. If you're like me, your brain is always going. And so really try to learn about meditation, because it took me 10 or 11 months to get a clear 5 minutes way back when. So believe me, but set yourself up 15 minutes in the morning to turn your phone off. It's really a way to take back your space and take back your humanity, right? So if I turn my phone off, and gives everyone anxiety, but that's what we need, because when you turn it on, you realize, oh, it's okay.
Yep.
That's the cognitive thing. So when you just take 15 minutes for yourself and just try to stay in the meditation, but just keep to yourself. It's really, like I said, it's grabbing your space back and your own humanity back. Because if the phone's on, we're always tethered. We never get a moment alone, even when we're sleeping. So that's why I do this twice a day. And also, we need to, as an entrepreneur, everyone who's an entrepreneur or in sales, remember, we're supposed to be the pacifying force. People are walking in with nervousness. I'm supposed to not give more to that. I'm supposed to at least come across as calm, pacifying. Everything is going to be fine. So if you don't meditate, or if you start the day too hyped up, you're losing sales.
Yep.
You're bothering people. You're bringing negative into people's space, and we need to avoid that if we want to sell or be productive, because people will avoid professionals who are hyped up and nervous, because it makes them feel, it increases their anxiety. It's the anxiety death spiral, I call it.
No, I appreciate you sharing that. And I know you're new to the Webtalk platform and the Webtalk Legends YouTube channel. Deanna does a lot of affirmations. She has some meditations and a lot of things you can listen to if you want to try those out. And anyone don't forget, guys, we have the other opportunities in the Webtalk Legends YouTube channel to help you. That's the goal, is self-improvement, to make ourselves better and have less stress, even though we're going to have stress. Is there any final thoughts you can share with us on any topic that comes in? I like just whatever's in that mind right now.
There's too many controversial things, but I just hope that people see over the past couple of years what we've been through, that maybe certain people in charge have not been totally honest with us, or have based their edicts and what they wanted to do to us on a national level. They haven't been based on real science. And so I just would like everyone to take a step back and really let's take a healthy dose of skepticism from now on, because we really need to take charge of the country ourselves and make sure our leaders follow what we want them to do. I think all too many people followed in a blind way what happened for as I say, the virus of unknown origin, as we call it. But the most important thing is honestly, it's a peaceful message that as you go about your day tomorrow, people look like they're okay, but people are going through a lot all the time. So they could look happy or sitting on a bus. So remember, my goal as a Christian person is to always bring as much positive as I can. My mother taught me that, Chris, things come easy to you, Chris. Everyone has a harder day than you. So I think if we can be polite and we can say, if we get the wrong order at McDonald's, we don't start screaming, So yeah. I think that's the message, is to look at everyone differently and say, before I jump on them or bring them some negative, let's assume they have a full plate already. I think the big message is that people are landmines today. People are bringing up too many things in society. Like, I should not know what your sexual orientation is. It has nothing to do with my work. In the public sphere, it has nothing to do with it. It's totally inappropriate. It's like, I should not know you're a Yankee fan. I shouldn't. Nothing to do with my work. So I think people are landmines, I call them. I try to say, no, you're not empowered. You're a landmine people are going to avoid. That's bad for your future. So let's also try to shut down behaviors that we know are bad. There's a lot happening today where children are being targeted seriously.
Yes.
Okay. So we need to call it out. Like, for example, a teacher should not be talking to a 7-year-old about anything other than her academic, her profession, her degree. So I think so parents should be forceful to go to school boards to see what are teachers allowed to discuss with their children.
Right.
So we have no idea that there's predators out there. A teacher of 4th grade English should have no discussion with your kids about anything other than English. And if that's happening, your kids are being targeted. And I want people to wake up to this. People are much too polite. stop being polite in certain situations, stop worrying what other people think about you, and really see things for what they are. I'm not trying not to be too political, but there's a lot of things happening today that are very disturbing, and parents are going along with it,
Right.
to the detriment of their kids.
No, well said, man. And a phenomenal conversation as always, man. Guys, if you haven't met Chris yet, please reach out to him. Connect with him on Webtalk. You can definitely get his contact information there as well. And if you're interested in being on the next podcast, reach out to me. And we're always looking to have you share your story. And it was 30 minutes, guys. All of you can do this. Chris does it a lot. I know he does a lot of video. But those that have that fear, you'll be okay. You'll have some fun. Everyone has something to share, and everyone can learn from each other. And Chris, thanks so much for joining us and sharing and being transparent with us, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Shawn. Always great to talk to you. Thanks, everybody.
Have an awesome day, guys.